It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Well, I'm assuming I'm live. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Live on location from the Norwegian Sky. I have no idea if this actually went live or not because the intro would not play. Anyway, let's see. Let me jump over in the comment section in the chat room. Somebody stick in there if you guys can hear me. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Kenneth. Good morning, Carol. Mike's with us. Katie's with us. Cindy. Okay, everybody's there. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so welcome aboard. We're on someplace between Miami and Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, where we are tomorrow. This is the sea day on the Norwegian Sky. There's been it's an iffy Wi-Fi signal at best, so I have no idea how well this is going to do. I've set up in like 3 different locations this morning. I had first was upstairs, and the music started blaring. There's no way you could hear me. I moved back downstairs. Now I'm on deck. What is this? Deck 7, I guess, at the opposite the atrium lounge, which isn't the best lighting, but we'll just try to make the best out of things. Anyway, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on August. Our lead story today, matter of fact, it's the main story, is of course Cayman's dropping. I found this unusual. Today, guys, is National Pecan Torte Day. Now, I'm not sure I could find a pecan torte on this if I tried. I might find some pecan pie or something close to it. I wonder if that'll count. A pecan torte, go get one. Like I say, there's not a whole lot in the way of news today other than the Grand Cayman, and of course on a couple Carnival ships with Wi-Fi. So I'm going to mention that one as well. If you're listening by the podcast, welcome aboard. As always, you can access my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts like TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. Now, like I say, we are at sea today. The other thing that's kind of unusual for me this morning, I'm not sure what happened to my mouse. It might be in my room because I've been back and forth from the room. I got hardly any signal at all in my cabin. I had the mouse earlier, now I don't have it, and my little finger pad thingy, it doesn't work. I'm not sure if that's what caused that, but anyway, so we're having to do things the old-fashioned way here with a lot of touch. A couple things to point out about the Norwegian Sky. I don't know if any of you caught my live stream last night on Facebook, but the embarkation yesterday was maybe the smoothest embarkation of any ship that I've ever been on. One thing that was particularly nice, they brought the scooter out to the curb to me. So I didn't have to go through the whole wheelchair stuff to get in and out of the terminal and on board the ship and get stuck waiting until I could get in my cabin to get the scooter. I mean, I've been screaming for this for years that they do it this way. Well, at least they did it. And I don't know if it was Port Miami is changing, if it was Norwegian is accepting it for Port Miami to do it. I don't know. But anyway, it went super smooth. Rode the scooter inside, went through everything. this lickety split went straight through all the security, all the check-in, everything. From the time I got to the curb, got out of my Uber from the hotel, till I was actually on the ship, it couldn't have been more than 15 minutes. And it was so nice to be. I mean, that gave me a half a day more that I could explore the ship. And this is a rather confusing ship, so it's good that I had that time too. But anyway, a couple other things to mention again, because of the Wi-Fi signal, that I have not been able to post some things that I wanted to post. And you know me, the big fat guy, I'm always going to talk about food. I had dinner last night in the Palace dining room with Hot Air Tom and Cindy. That's the main dining room. And I had, okay, why isn't that going up? There it is. I had seafood gumbo, which was outstanding. And if somebody ever complains about food not being served hot, it's not from this ship. The food has been extraordinarily hot. I also had sirloin beef medallions with some broccoli and some fries. That was outstanding as well. Cindy had some kind of vegetable burrito, I think it was. Hot Air Tom had a herb encrusted chicken. And then, of course, I had the chocolate lava cake. Ooh, I've lost that picture. But anyway, I had chocolate lava cake for dessert. And then this morning, Hot Air Tom and Cindy are in a suite, which allows them to have breakfast at Cagney's. And they arranged with their concierge to have me as a guest for breakfast today. So I got to eat in Cagney's this morning, which was a nice little break. And of course, you know what I'm going to order. My eggs Benedict, of course. And it was extremely good and hot. You know, they did that. They've so far on this cruise, the food that I've had has been just outstanding. And of course, having breakfast in Cagney's with Cindy and Hot Air Tom. So that was today. All right, guys, I will be back with today's news after a break from one of our network sponsors. All right, today's top story has to do with Grand Cayman. And this one I really found kind of surprised. Following a similar move made just a couple days ago by St. Kitts, the Cayman Islands have now dropped all pandemic-related restrictions for travelers. This continues the trend of more destinations open fully for cruise ship visits and allows greater itinerary options for the cruise travel planning. The Department of Tourism website for Grand Cayman says, effective August 24th, all travelers vaccinated and unvaccinated are permitted to enter the Cayman Islands without the need of any additional documents or health-related steps due to COVID-19 pandemic. The statement goes on to clarify that travelers will no longer need to apply for any sort of travel declaration or other visit request, present any sort of negative COVID test result, provide proof of any sort of vaccination, or wear masks. Currently, unvaccinated guests are not permitted to disembark at the port, with the exception of children under 12 accompanied by a fully vaccinated adult. Pre-arrival testing for cruise passengers is no longer required to visit the Grand Cayman. With the ability to include unvaccinated guests and visits the popular port of call, more cruise lines will be willing to develop Caribbean itineraries that include Grand Cayman. You know, they had the political thing back there too, where they were fighting ships coming in. It's been a mess. And not only that, the restrictions were pretty tight prior to the pandemic, and how radically cruise travel has changed. Grand Cayman was one of the top 5 most popular cruise destinations in the Caribbean, with more than 1.7 million cruise passengers visiting annually. This also makes the destination one of the 15 busiest cruise ports in the world by passenger visits. So Grand Cayman is going to get back to somewhat normalcy. Glad to hear that. And the other story this morning, folks, which wasn't really that much of a story, but Carnival Cruise Lines reporting difficulty with ship Wi-Fi service aboard two of its vessels, Carnival Legend and Carnival Magic. Due to the challenges, service will be limited for several sailings. Premium internet service will not be available. In an email sent to guests, Carnival has notified passengers on upcoming sailings of the Legend and Magic that Wi-Fi access will be limited. We want to inform you that due to challenge with some of the ship's satellites, there will be limited Wi-Fi access during your cruise, the email reads. The affected cruises are listed as August 20th and 28th sailings of the Legend, as well as the 22nd, 31st sailings of the Carnival Magic. So I look for one of the days, folks, when all of these cruise lines are going to end up with, coming up with the systems that really work well. Some ships are just so far advanced, so way better than others. For instance, this ship, Norwegian Sky. I'll be surprised if this goes out anywhere near clear. But anyway, the couple things that I'm going to be reporting about the Sky. There's some accessibility issues on this ship. On deck 12, there is an elevator that goes only to Cagney's and the Pinnacle. I went to the wrong elevator earlier this morning to go up to meet Hot Air Tom and Cindy. And the elevator that goes to deck 12, which there's other things on besides those two restaurants on deck 12, to get out of there, it's a little ramp in and out of one of those big heavy wooden doors. No automatic doors, no sliding doors, no handicap accessible doors, just a heavy wooden thing. And then the scooter, the ramp was high enough to go in and out the door. My scooter got caught on it. So not only could I not get the door open to try to get the scooter through, but then I was stuck and trying to get the scooter back. It was a scene. And then there was nobody around, of course, to help me. So that clearly has some issues. The other thing I found is the public restrooms, and I'm going to look closer today, but the public restrooms that I've seen on 4 different locations now on the ship are not handicapped accessible. So the only way to use them, if you're on a scooter or a wheelchair, you got to park it outside and walk in. Well, what about the folks that can't do that? Yes, I can walk that little bit, but there's a lot of people that can't. So, I mean, that's a couple of the accessible things I found. Also, the swimming pool, of course, the main swimming pool is totally inaccessible in my view. All right, let's go over and see who's in the chat room this morning. All right. Again, I'm doing this by my finger. This is amazing. All right, Ken is with us, Cindy's with us, Jack's with us. Hi, guys. Carol's here. Kenneth says, how's the weather down there? Must be warmer than back home. I have no idea what the weather is like at home. We were not having any particularly hot weather. It was rather cool at night. It was hot in Florida. I mean, like 93, 94 degrees. I was outside a little on board the ship yesterday, and it was hot, but pleasant hot. What little bit I've been outside this morning trying to find a place to do the show, it's pretty windy today, but it's nice and warm. So yeah, it's lovely weather. There's a few clouds in the sky, but not. I'd have trouble calling it a partly cloudy day. So it's more mostly sunny. So very nice. Mike says, good morning. Kenneth says, don't let Tom talk you into hang gliding. Kenneth, ain't no way I'm going to let Tom talk me into any of his shenanigans. Not only will I have trouble getting there, I'd have trouble doing any of those things that he does. He was trying to talk me into going in that damn big wheel thing. What do you call it? Not a roller coaster, but the Ferris wheel. Huge Ferris wheel in Miami. When we went out to dinner, that would have been Saturday night. Went right past this thing. I mean, it's a humongous Ferris wheel. You couldn't have paid me $1 million to get on that thing. I'm way too chicken. All right, Katie's with us, taking her lunch break. Carol says good internet. Well, that's amazing. I'm surprised because believe me, it's not. Everything is really slow here. Gretchen's with us. Good morning, Gretchen. Jack's with us. He says it's working great. Guga and Rob. Hey, good to see you guys. You guys are on a cruise too, aren't you? Or getting ready to go on one. I can't remember exactly when you guys are on. If I'd known you were being here, I've got my Guga and Rob shirt, which I could have grabbed. This one I could have grabbed the Guga and Rob shirt, and I said, well, I'll grab this one. So I got the Guga and Rob shirt to wear. Probably wear it tomorrow. So anyway, good to have you guys with us this morning. Carol wants to know if Guga's awake, Rob. He says yes. Dinner looks delicious. Thank you. Katie says, Guga and Rob had a great Coco Cay video. I have not had a chance to watch that yet, but I'm going to. I try to keep up with everything you guys do. Rob says, thank you, Katie. We're finally on our way to St. Thomas. I'll be in St. Thomas day after tomorrow. I think it's day after tomorrow. I can't keep up with this schedule on these cruises. I don't pay that much attention. Cindy says the MDR is an odd place. I do remember that, but I love the sky. So glad you're happy with it so far. Food's been outstanding, Sin, so far. Like I say, there's some issues, but I mean, it has nothing to do with the ship not being nice. Again, for most people, I think there's more issues for those of us that are mobility challenged and other places, other ships. But I'm going to look at that a little closer today, especially the restrooms. I was really surprised. Maybe I'm just gotten spoiled by, Royal Caribbean and MSC, where all the public restrooms are wheelchair accessible. And they have, the little push button. You push the button, the door automatically opens the door. You go inside to the wheelchair, to the accessible, handicap accessible stall, and it usually has an electric opener. You hit the button and it opens, and you go in and take care of business. You hit the button to open the door again to go back. I've gotten spoiled with all the cruises I've been on, I guess. So it was really a shock to have to get up and finagle my way through a door and to use the restroom. So we'll check that out. There's Pittsburgh Jason with us. Streamer quality is excellent. I'm glad to hear that because, man, I couldn't get anything loaded up in my room. I couldn't get it to load videos. I couldn't get it to do anything. So go back to your room to use the bathroom. Yeah, well, see, Jason, you're younger. See, when you get my age and with all the physical disabilities that I have, when it comes to pee, sometimes you got to get there quicker than going all the way back to my room. So, yeah, when it decides to happen, I need to get there sometime in a hurry. Well, that's a hell of a story for a live show, isn't it? Amy's with us. I think the Sky is NCL's oldest ship now. Can't remember, is Sky or Star the oldest? I don't remember. It's close. And the Sky is a Sun class, and the Sun is younger than the Sky, if I remember that correctly. I love the older ships, but I find the newer ships have the best accessibility. Yeah, me too. I'm not as wild about the newer ships, but I am wild about their accessibility. I find them much more accessible. The pool and the hot tubs, they're just, I mean, there's no, even with my, limited walking capability, I'm not sure I could get in and out of the pools or to the hot tub. Hot tubs are four together. I'll see it. You'll see a video on that whenever I get them loaded. Katie says, so glad getting on board was successful. And I tell you what, it was so nice. And if everybody will do it, just like Norwegian did it in Miami yesterday, man, it would make, especially for those of us that are physically challenged, mobility challenged, it made it so much easier. And number one, I didn't have to, let's face it, I'm a big fat guy. And how about the poor schlepper that's got to push me in a wheelchair? I mean, that's not easy to do, especially if you're going up those ramps. You still have to walk a ridiculous amount of space to get on a cruise ship. It's ridiculous. But still, I've had some guy pushing me, or sometimes lady pushing me. And I'm a load, especially going uphill. But so it was so much nicer to have the scooter right there. Boom. I checked through I travel with the walker, which I've got that. Hopefully I'll get out today and walk up and down the corridor a little bit for exercise because I can't go very far. But of course I've got my portable oxygen and I've got my concentrator in the cabin. Scoot around, had the scooter at the curb, my oxygen concentrator in the cabin, and it worked fine. So bless them. Kudos to Scoot Around. Hopefully, Scoot Around will become a sponsor of this show. That would be nice. An official sponsor. We're got our fingers crossed. Hot Air Tom. Hello, everybody. Took a while to get past Google issues. Okay. Hot Air Tom, if you're still on this, what time am I supposed to meet you tonight for the bistro in case I don't run into you anywhere else today? I can't remember what you said. 6:30, 6:45. You said something about what time I'm supposed to be at the bistro. If you're still with us, stick an answer in, or try texting me, or something. I sent Hot Air Tom a text last night. I got to dinner before they did. Tell him I was at table 16, and that was at 5:30. He got it at 9:19. So, anyway, they found me. 6:30. Okay. Thank you, Hot Air Tom. I'll see you and Cindy at 6:30. So, Sonny, I love NCL older ships. Yeah, but again, for most things, the only thing that's been a bit of a problem, and I'm glad this stream is going well, is that the stream in the Wi-Fi in the cabin was awful. And then finding a place, which I have problems finding places to do this anyway, that I'm not disturbing people or it's too loud. I mean, I had some great places today. Then one of them was out at the outdoor cafe, whatever you call the out beyond the buffet outside, anyway, whatever they call it, it's big under a big tent-like thing out there. And I had a great table set up. Had everything set up. Went to check the camera and everything, and there was so much light behind me that it was the signal was terrible with the camera. So anyway, I'm glad it's going through without a problem. Hot Air Tom says, I'm impressed. I'm getting the stream with no buffering. Yeah, that's amazing. Chillie, what is the average rental of a scooter for on board for scoot around if you take your mom? It depends on the length of the cruise, and it depends on where you're cruising from. The rates are all different, but I'd say for an average 7-day rentals, probably somewhere around $250, something like that. Again, I don't pay that much attention to the cost because it's a necessary evil for me. I mean, I couldn't do a cruise without them. And my little scooter that I use, for my running around, is just not big enough to do on a cruise. So, plus I can't carry anything on it. It doesn't have a basket, and the baskets that came with that particular brand of scooter are no longer made. I tried to buy an aftermarket thing to add it on, and they don't have it. So it really hampers me for doing anything, the things that I do. So that was one of the shortcomings of the scooter that I have at home. The scooter around that I rent, these are they're nice scooters. Number one, they're heavier. The one I have at home, I can lift in and out of the car. This scooter, it would be heavy enough. I couldn't lift it, so I'd have to take it apart to put it in the car. The new models are easily come apart in 3 pieces. And you can just, so if you take to 130, 140 pounds and break that into 3 pieces, so that's 35 or 40 pounds a piece or whatever it works out to be. I could do that, but 130, 140, 150 pounds, I can't lift that up, into the trunk of a car, or even on my rack. Anyway, I can look that up for you, Kenneth, but to me, it's not that bad. And maybe it's not that high. Maybe I pay, because I also get the oxygen concentrator, which is probably around $150, so $250, $400 between the two. I don't know. That might be a little high, but I don't know. So, all right, guys, I am going. Oh yeah, Hot Air Tom's selling Kenneth a very big wheel. Yeah, a damn thing. That thing is huge. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to try to get some stuff posted, some videos, some shorts, during the day today. I've filmed several other things today that I've got to start processing. So I got a lot of work to do. But anyway, glad we made it through the stream. That's amazing. So that's going to wrap me up for today, guys. Thanks for being with me. Tomorrow we'll be in Puerto Plata. I'm looking forward to that, as I've never been there. I want to see how it compares to Amber Cove, which of course is Carnival's owned destination in the Dominican Republic. And this is right next door. It's 5 miles from Amber Cove. But I don't know anything about the port itself. I've never been there. I look forward to probably do the show and then get off and do a little local exploring just to see what it's like. And, we'll see if I got any live stream capabilities there. If not, I'll do some filming from there. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Hot Air says, I will add my cabin video to whatever Chillie posts. Yeah, his cabin video was too big. I have not been in his cabin yet. I'm going to try to do that sometime today. But at any rate, it's too big for him to upload. So we got to figure out how we can get it up for Hot Air Time to get the cabin video up. Kenneth says, I love Bayside. When we were in Miami, we'll always eat there. Oh, I eat at Chillie's there at Bayside. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if I owned that? Spelled the wrong way. All right, guys. That's going to wrap me up for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. Hopefully, one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. You guys have a fantastic day. I'm going to. See you tomorrow, or maybe sometime later today. Who knows? This is the Old Fat Travel Guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.